Good Sunday morning. This is Andy Belling, and I'm about to sing a happy song, because we need to be happy. Good morning. Anytime. When the chips are down, you need a pal to count on, somebody you can count on to turn your luck around. And when you're lost at sea, there's someone here to guide you, 'cause you've a friend beside you to help you sail along. And if the rain comes, don't you be afraid. I'll help you find the shade so you can march in your parade. I tell you, when you're in a jam and things are looking gloomy, tell it to me, pal, 'cause here I am. When your cookie breaks and all your milk is spilling, crying's hardly filling, don't even waste the tears. You're better off than most, so don't go playing hooky. At least you've had a cookie to crumble all these years. So pick your chin up and try to find a smile. You'll see it's worth the work, 'cause in a very little while you're better, things will come your way. That's one thing you can trust, that's how it must be when the chips are down. When you're feeling sad, 'cause all your dreams are sinking, no matter what you're thinking, another day will dawn. And all the news you hear is full of woe and sorrow. With every new tomorrow, another hope is born. So in the meantime, hide behind a grin and know you're bound to win, because the odds will soon be in your favor. Put away the frown and let me just remind you, I'm behind you when the chips are down. I'm right behind you when the chips are down. And now is Reverend Dr. Keith.
Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Keith.
How are you today?
Good, thank you.
Good. I'm so happy to see your smiling face and have you welcome us in on this Sunday morning, April 26th in the year 2020. It took me a moment to think of the date to remember. It is actually April 26th in the year 2020. Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and it's my honor and my privilege and my pleasure to invite you into our virtual Sunday celebration service here on Facebook Live and through Zoom and through our website. We are a spiritual community that comes together every Sunday morning, and we've been coming together a good bit this week online to celebrate and commune and spend time together. And it's a real joy to have you come and join us today on this journey as we relax into Spirit itself, to allow ourselves to be inspired and to remember who we are as spiritual beings in a new way. And so for those of you that are texting me, just know that I'm a little bit busy right now, so can't really manage that piece right now, but I am looking forward to communicating with you later. And so the way our service is going to work today is we're going to have some live music for you. We'll take you through a multimedia show, as well as you'll get to see me on camera as well a good bit. And I'm going to ask you as we continue right now to make sure that your cameras are turned off. And while at the same time, we're going to say hello to each other. And so I invite you all to say hello to each other right now as we just take in a moment and an anchor in this energy that appears to be in our brain, but it's also coming from our heart. And just feel the vibrations that are emitting from the screen right now, letting that remind us that we each have this field of energy that is within us and all around us, and that we're all connected by means of it. This energy is the same energy that powers your mobile phones and your dishwashers and your washer and dryers and your air conditioning and your texting. So if we can turn all of that off right now, maybe not the air conditioner, and let's just come together to have some time in community together. as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles and beyond. We're a community that's been coming together for a little over 30 years here in the city of Los Angeles, and we come together to practice what we teach. Primarily what is taught here is the works of Dr. Ernest Holmes, who put together a concise philosophy, faith, and way of life that was published in a book in 1926. And the essence of this book is that there's only one power, that it exists within you and within me, and that we get to practice the use of this power through our minds, our thoughts, our hearts, our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, and our interactions with life itself. And so as a community, as I said, that's come together for over 30 years, and certainly in our current expression, we come together to support our vision statement and to support each and every one of you as you find your personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. So today it's my objective and each and every one of us who's online today as a part of this community to support all of us, whether we're new to this community or not, in finding our personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. And so let's let that sink in for just one moment as we move to the next part of our service, which is called the morning ritual. We do this every Sunday morning, and we do it from the perspective of remembering who we are and to open ourselves up to the divine in a new way. And so right now we do that by having our morning ritual, and this will look like, I'm sorry, my screen just went crazy. You'll see on your screen that we've got a candle that is being lit. And we're going to go a little old school today with our ritual of calling in the light. And so the candle that we light today is a virtual candle, as you'll see on your screen. And our ritual is this. It's called lighting the flames of faith. And so this virtual candle that we light today, we light it for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, that which is known as the natural way. We light this candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light this candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light this candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. And we light this candle for Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light this candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. And we light this candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And we light this candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. And we light this candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And we light this candle also as the healing candle. And I ask you to take a moment and think of someone that you would like to silently put into the light of the healing flame. And this may include yourself. And we certainly include one of our community members, Dan Turman, whose father passed away this week. We include all of these individuals so that they all may experience the eternal and everlasting light of the divine. As we just take that in, we now move to the song that we sing to affirm this, as Andy guides us through. Let there be peace on earth.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, and peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And so let's each take a deep breath in, just feeling the peace of the divine that exists within you and within me. Honoring this presence, this energy of life itself. And so we align ourselves with this power, this presence, this creative force, whose nature is peace. And let it be the foundation from which we move into this experience that we share together today, known as our Sunday celebration service. And so we trust, and we trust, and we trust, as we all say together, and so it is. Hello, everyone. And so I need to, I'm going to have to try to figure out how to reboot my computer.
Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me.
Jamie, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're got a nice echo going on. It's kind of psychedelic.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
My screen took a flip, and I can't get back into that part of Zoom, so I don't know quite what to do here.
So I'm going to stay with this process right now, and we're going to go there. And can you all hear me now?
Yeah, there's a tremendous echo still.
And I have him. So Jamie, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay.
And let you take us on a journey while I try to reboot myself over here. So thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Jami Lula.
Good morning, y'all. Good to be with you this morning. Imagine we're in heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky, yeah. sharing all the world. Oh, imagine, yeah, yeah. Imagine there's no countries. Isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion to. Oh, imagine all of the people living life in peace. You may say that I am a dreamer, but I know I'm not the only one, 'cause I know this day they'll all join us, and the world is one. Imagine no possessions. I don't know if I can. No need for greed or hunger. We are a brotherhood and sisterhood of man. Imagine all of the people sharing all of the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I know I'm not the only one, 'cause I know someday they're all gonna join us, maybe today, 'cause the world is one. Oh, you may say I'm a dreamer. Come on, sing it with me where you are. But I'm not the only one. I know someday they'll join us, and the world is one. Imagine. Oh, imagine.
Thank you so very much, Jamie. So thank you, Jamie. So such a beautiful song, Imagine. And I know that we all have a very special connection to it. And so I'm going to try to get myself joined back in on my other camera if you all can give me just one moment. We're going to get going, and I'm going to trust this. If you guys can just give me a thumbs up that you can hear me. Jamie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we're going to get going. So the world will live as one. How do we get that to happen? This last month, we have been speaking, or I've been speaking on creating a new idea, a new ideology, a new way of choosing to live in the world today, while things are kind of unusual. And this morning is a fine example of where run-throughs have taken place, tech rehearsals have taken place, and hours have been spent on preparing this message for us to be able to wash in the power of the Spirit and the presence of that one thing that exists. And sometimes weeds show up in our garden. And so what do we do when that happens? The theme for this month has been seed plant, flower. And I want us each to look that they all require the other. To have the seed is what needs to be taken and put into the ground so that the roots can take hold, for that root to then move through the seed for the plant to emerge. The plant must have the seed and those roots for it to do its part in the creative process, as well as the ultimate objective is the flower. Seed, plant, flower. That's a metaphor for how we use our mind, and certainly in the way that we look at it here in metaphysics and the teachings of New Thought. That if we desire to have the experience of a flower in our life, it's incumbent upon us to be conscientious of the seed, the thought that we're placing into our mind, which becomes a belief, which takes root and rises up, reaching towards its source, the light itself. And that process is the seed becoming the plant, which must then become the flower. It's all part of the journey. My goal and objective today is for you and I to take a new perspective, to create a new perspective, to take a new look on how we can manifest our own personal floral garden of our divinity. In our philosophy and faith and way of life known as the teaching of the science of mind, we're taught, as in many metaphysical studies in New Thought, that we as humans express on two different levels. We have that level of the absolute and our divine nature, while we also live within the relative and the human experience. And so we're spiritual beings having a human experience while we're human beings expressing our spiritual nature. And if we're lining ourselves up to the highest vibration possible, then we're also having a spiritual experience that is relative to our own divine nature. We often hear in our teaching that we have qualities that we're imbued with that are the qualities of the divine, and I speak of them each and every Sunday morning, and I hope that you will indulge me as I take us on a journey of that this morning, of really beginning to look in a new way of what are those qualities. Well, they're peace, they're power, they're beauty, they're joy, they're light, they're life, they're love, and their wisdom. And as you can see on the screen, that they each can stand alone on their own as an expression of the divine, of a seed becoming a plant, becoming a flower. But when we align ourselves to the totality, the wholeness, the completeness of our divine nature, then all of those aspects of who we are rise to the source of light itself, to the sun, and bring beauty to all that are having the opportunity to experience it, and first and foremost, the individual experiencing it. But how do we get to this process of experiencing and expressing our own personal floral garden of our divinity? Well, it's important for us to remember that we are at choice, and that for us, so often healing must take place. Jami's going to sing a song for us later that has the following lyrics. Let me walk to the banks of the river of love, where the current runs deep, baptized in the one, where there's no separation and light is all we see, honoring all our differences, and love will set us free. I'm going to repeat those as we feel the resonance of the truth in these lyrics. Let me walk to the banks of the river of love, where the current runs deep, baptized in the one, where there's no separation and the light is all we see, honoring all our differences, and love will set us free. For Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. You'll notice in these lyrics the qualities of the divine that we're each imbued with, that are standalone plants in our personal floral garden of our own divinity, are mentioned in this song, because it's not just the lyrics that are telling us to declare and demand an experience of a healing in life through knowing that we are peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. But it's a calling. It's a calling from deep within to become more aware of who we are as beings, and how we choose to use our mind, and in so doing, how we choose to know who we are as divine beings, ultimately living in that totality, that wholeness, that completeness, that perfection that includes peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. The second verse of these lyrics says, I see the blessing in the past. It's time to requalify. Let's not forget, but learn to forgive. God knows we got to try. It is my responsibility to heal the wounds in me. And that takes compassion, faith, hope, love, and truth, for they will set us free. We're being told in these beautiful lyrics that Jami has written is that we get to choose to see whatever has taken place prior to this very moment is the past, and we can choose to see it as a blessing. But today is the day that we get to stop and requalify or recalibrate who we are and forgive any transgressions that we've placed upon ourselves or we believe that anyone else has placed upon us. And make a commitment right now to try, through this forgiveness, to own our responsibility to heal the wounds within us. And we do that by choosing compassion. In other words, to live with the passion, remembering that the word passion broken down is pass I on. So to remember to live by passing the divine nature that exists within each and every one of us onto the world. In other words, by living in a state of namaste. The power of the divine that exists within me is currently and consciously being acknowledged as it exists within you. And to build upon that with faith. Faith, the acronym being for full assurance in the heart. In other words, to remember that as we live with compassion, to have full assurance that our light, our love, our beingness is here to guide us on the way. And that to live in hope, which is not a state of desperation, it's a state of a higher vibrational frequency, knowing that the outcome must be better than the current state that we're in because we're doing our part as being conscious evolutionists. And in so doing, to live with love, not just that agape love, as I speak of often, but love, as Dr. Ernest Holmes defines it, as the self-givingness of spirit, whose desire is to create more of itself. And the only way it can do that is through you and through me. And then to live from truth, the spiritual truth that all that there is the divine. And in so doing, we will be set free. And to remember that Mother, Father, God, that power, that creative, omniscient, omnipotent, infinite power that dwells within you and within me. There is a healing going on for Mother, Father, God. There is a healing going on. But for you and I to magnify and experience in a greater way with the beauty of the flora of our own life, we must be conscious of what seeds we're planting into the fertile soil of subjective mind. And so I invite you today to open your mind to aware and aligning yourself in this moment to choose to plant seeds on this journey today in your own personal floral garden of divinity that are of the qualities of the divine that I so often speak. That let's take a moment today and remember that the seeds already exist of these qualities, but by choosing to plant them anew today, that they shall activate this quality that already exists within us. And so we choose to plant the seed for the quality of peace. And in this way, we honor the inherent divine state of inner calm that exists within us. And that is regardless of any chaos unfolding around or within us. We plant the second seed of power, remembering that power is illuminated as we do so. And the power that we speak of acknowledges the energy that exists within everything and makes it live. The third seed that we plant is for the quality of beauty. Beauty in this context is a personal expression made in which high spiritual qualities are made manifest. The next seed that we plant is a seed for the quality of joy. Joy in this context is that inner state that is the impetus of the emotion that is excited by the expectancy of good, joy. Just open yourself. And we move to the next seed, which is the seed for all forms of light, the quality of light that we call into our being in an awakened way each and every Sunday morning. And light in this context is known as the symbol of universal intelligence. Moving to the next seed, we move to the seed, the quality of life. Life in this context is that which is defined as the animated principle of being. It is that inner something that makes every single thing live, including you and me, all beings of light, and including these flowers. As we move to the next quality of love, this seed that we plant of love is defined, as I've said earlier, as the self-givingness of spirit through the desire of life to express more of itself. And the only way it can do that is through you and through me. And the final quality that we plant a seed of today is the quality of wisdom. Firm together that you and I allow that wisdom that we're imbued with to guide us on this journey of our everyday life as we both ride and dance that beautiful dance of our humanity and our divinity. And so let's also plant together another seed of healing here, remembering that we have the ability to choose to heal not only ourselves, but each other at all times through our thinking and our believing and our actions and our reactions, and as the song tells us, through forgiveness. But what is healing? We know what healing is in the physical sense when we scratch ourselves and a scab shows up and our body heals itself. We know what physical healing is, but what is metaphysical healing? What is the healing of the mind, the soul, the being? Well, it is this. Healing is revealing. Well, revealing what? Revealing an idea. An idea of what? Healing is revealing an idea that is already perfect. In other words, when you and I choose to reveal through our mental nature, our nature of the way that we engage in life, we reveal that idea that is already perfect, meaning that we are imbued with peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom, and choose thoughts and beliefs and actions that are in accordance with this. We are revealing the very thing that which we are, which is a divine being that is one of perfection, of wholeness and completeness. And so we know that this process is a cycle, because just as we know ourselves to be that, sooner or later some experience shows up that seems to contradict it. So let's remind ourselves today in the plant life cycle of having just metaphorically planted those seeds of our qualities of the divine, that the seed turns into the young plant. The young plant turns into the mature plant, which turns into the flower, which can then become the fruit, returning back to the seed. That's an example for us of how the thought process works as well. Remembering that we are contemplative beings, beings of thought in life. The thought becomes the belief. The belief is impressed upon creative law, which brings us an effect or an experience, which gives us the opportunity to have a reaction to that effect and experience, which returns us back to the thought. The thought, belief, law, effect, reaction to effect, thought. And so the question that we have for ourselves today is, what have we been manifesting in our lives? Do we have weeds in our garden? Have there been experiences in our life that we wished would look different? Certainly my experience with my computer right now, I wished it looked different. It may feel like an obstacle in my path, and yet it's literally a gift meant for me to move in a different direction. And the direction for me to move in this moment is to the screen to my left, because I have the ability to control it. But control may be a delusion in the state. I may not be controlling it. I'm just simply using the tools that are before me to enhance not only my experience by choosing to stay calm, to engage in peace, using my purposeful energy to activate conscious evolution, meaning that I'm not freaking out and screaming and flipping out here and schwitzing and sweating, but choosing to stay calm and to let the joy of life bring forth through me an experience that truly isn't an obstacle. It's just an expression of life. It's something that's giving me, as it does all of us, the opportunity to know who we are as divine beings and to remember how life works. For so often, the very thing that appears to be a weed isn't. It's just the seed finding a new way to become the plant, to become the flower. Because life always finds a way. Always finds a way. And so today, you and I are called to live in a mystical state of mind in a new way, to live from the state of oneness that we exist in. If you recall, when we said hello this morning, the animated visual showed us that there was a vibrational frequency emitting from what looks like in that moment our forehead or our brain. But let's let that be a reminder to us that we are vibrating a frequency, and that frequency is one of oneness. And when we choose to consciously align ourselves to that oneness, meaning there's only one thing ever taking place, then we have the ability and the opportunity to enhance the experience or experiences of our lives and to be open to the messages coming our way. The message that's coming our way right now is this: try not to resist the ebb and flow of your awakening. There'll be many ups and downs, and these are necessary for your journey to wholeness or oneness. Learn to love yourself during the periods of isolation and togetherness equally, as they are both important for your soul's growth. We've heard this message before during this time of isolation, but I believe it warrants being heard in a new way. To remember in this moment that we are a divine being having a human experience, as a human being having a divine experience. And to be open to loving ourselves during this time in a way, allowing us to grow through these ebb and flow of our spiritual awakening, and in so doing, finding our own personal self-empowerment. This message from Spirit reminded me of the Steve Winwood song, "Bring Me a Higher Love." I love that song because it tells us to this power, this creative power within us, to bring us to a higher love. As Jami's song tells us, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. As audible beings, as beings that have the ability to impact our experience in life by planting the seeds or thoughts, if you will, in our mind of wholeness, of completeness already, of declaring that that healing is taking place, then we must bring into our field of experience a vibrational frequency that is higher than the one before. Yes, baby, bring me a higher love. And so let's remember that we are here to be a conscious evolutionist on our journey, finding our personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. To remember that we live in a universe that is intelligent by nature, and being one with that power, that universal power that exists in and as life itself, that is both infinite and within you and within me. That we're here with a calling, not just for a healing, but to remember that we can choose to take a quantum leap in our thinking. Dr. Barbara Marx Hubbard, one of the mothers of the concept of being an evolutionist, tells us this: the process of evolution tends to favor our higher consciousness and greater freedom, and our efforts toward a win-win synergistic society. I've said before that I truly believe that this event that has taken place on our planet, this pandemic, is a calling for a healing indeed. And one of the healings that we're being called to do is to choose to live in a synergistic society. One where we all win. but to even move that beyond the state of winning or losing or winning and winning, but one where we are consciously awake and alert and alive to the oneness that exists within all of life, including Mother Earth. And so you and I have the opportunity today to step into this cycle of evolution, this process of evolution, choosing a higher consciousness, choosing to live with greater freedom, and choosing to use our individualized power in a way that magnifies the synergistic society. And we get to choose right here and right now to let the healing begin, to let it begin. And we do that by choosing a new vision for our life and life itself. We do that by getting very clear on the vision that we hold for this synergistic society. We do this when we consciously become clear of not just our external vision, but our internal vision. And when we remember that our inner vision, when it opens, our horizons expand. So let the healing begin now. Peter Weiss tells us in The Universal Mind to heal yourself and change the world through the incredible power of your mind and thoughts. Raise your conscious awareness of life now and let the revealing begin. Let's remember: seed, plant, flower. Creation is always happening. Seed, plant, flower. Thought, belief, experience. And to remember, to always remember, that evolution is always unfolding. Evolution is always unfolding. But the question is, what is your role in the journey? And so today I invite each of us to become more aware of our role in the journey of the evolution of humanity and all sentient beings on this planet, in this universe, on this day that is known as April 26th in the year 2020. Let's all take a deep breath in together and exhale. And let the seed of this experience take root in our soul. As we use our vision to visualize our personal floral garden of our divinity, making a difference on this planet. And so it is. So it's my distinct pleasure to bring back to us the one and only Jami Lula singing the song that I spoke of earlier.
There's healing going on. Oh, there's a healing going on there. A healing going on. Let me walk to the banks of the river of love, where the current runs deep, that hides in the one where there's no separation and the light is all we see. Honoring all our differences and love will set us free. Oh, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I see the blessings of the past. It's time to requalify. Let not forget, but let not forgive. God knows we've got to try. It's my responsibility to heal the wounds in me. Compassion, faith, and hope, and love, and truth will set us free. Oh, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul. Oh, Lord, and I said, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my, oh, Lord, you rock my soul. Oh, Lord, you rock my soul.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, Reverend Keith.
So beautiful.
Thank you. I love that song.
One of my fave songs.
So feel the healing going on so many different levels. And I know that we get to be the holders of that light, where a lot of other people might get caught up in the miasma of the us and them and everything. We just continue to hold the light of healing, not only for ourselves, but for all that are out there. Thank you so much for letting me participate with CSLA today. And so grateful to see Andy and Travis. Thank you all for everything. Thank you, CSLLA.
You're welcome. Thank you, Andy. It's a pleasure to have you here. Much love to you, Jamie.
Thank you, brother.
Much love, brother. And so we now have the opportunity to move into our conscious giving. And we are a community that exists and thrives based on the conscious giving of each and every one of you. And so I want to thank you in advance for your supporting our community during this time. It's been a wonderful journey of seeing how everyone has stepped up and really supported our community as we've moved through these very challenging times. And so today, I just want you to know we're deeply appreciative for what you have done leading up to today and continue to do to support us during these most unique and fun and creative times. And so the options and opportunities for ways to give to us consciously is you can go to our website, and you'll see this information is on the screen by going to our website and going to csl-la.org and clicking on donate, or going to the app in the App Store, which is Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and click on the left bars and the screen will come up and you'll see the donate tab. Or you can mail in a check. Our address is 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California, 90038. As well, you can call me and my phone number is there on the screen and I can handle it for you privately. So once again, thank you for your conscious giving today. Andy's going to take us through the journey of our song of Love is My Decision while we just take a moment and facilitate that process. Andy, I hand it over to you.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, Source will show me how. 'Cause love is my decision right here and now.
Thank you, Andy. Let's all just affirm together that the abundance of the universe exists right here and right now for each and every one of us, and we live in this abundance by consciously giving, by opening our mind and our heart and our soul and stepping into the abundant nature of the universe, knowing that what we give returns to us and multiplied abundantly. We trust this, we know this, we live this, and we let it be. As we say together, and so it is. Let's just all take a deep breath together. So let's just take a moment to acknowledge what's going on here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. We had a lot of activities last week, and a huge thank you for those of you that were part of our Wednesday coffee clutch. We do that every Wednesday at noon, and we'd love to have more of you join us just to do a check-in and have a little spiritual practice together, and 30 to 45 minutes of just anchoring ourselves into knowing who we are and remembering who we are. And it's been something that many people say they are thoroughly enjoying. So I invite more of you to be a participant in that on Wednesday at noon, as well as we have our Snappy Hour on Thursday, which is a time to come together and just step into some levity, some fun, some jokes, some humor, some poetry. It's a happy hour to soothe the soul. Speaking of soothing the soul, our concert Friday night was a huge success, and a big thank you to all who watched online and those that supported it financially, as well as those that stepped up and worked as musicians. It was a great endeavor that took a lot of energy, and I believe it paid off in multiple ways. So thank you so very much for that. In the vein of saying thank you, I'd like to give a big shout out and a thank you to those that supported and participated in our service this morning. We have Jami Lula, Andy Bellin, Travis Smith, who controls our audio and keeps me moving technologically as well. And a big thank you to Robert Hensley, who many of you never get a chance to see online, but he not only is our social media individual, but also works as the admin in the office and keeps us moving and grooving and facilitating from Zoom to Facebook to Instagram to all social media activities, and embeds the links on our website. A big thank you to Robert Hensley and each and every one of you. And so right now, I invite you all to turn your cameras on if you would like to see each other while staying mute, as we connect with each other and say hello as I take us on a journey of meditation.
You can hear them, but then they can hear you, but the camera.
So I'm going to remind you to not turn your microphones on, just your cameras, please. Just one moment. And so as we inhale together, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I affirm for each of us that we anchor ourselves into the creation of life itself. That each and every one of us choose to know who we are in a new way right now. In our mind's eye, we see our personal floral garden of divinity. Trusting that it is taking root so not only do the plants begin to emerge, but as each flower of peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom blossom. We begin to feel the energy, the vibrational frequency that is being emitted from them. And knowing that their essence and their physical beauty and this vibration and their lovely scents are beginning to travel across our globe. And as a result, a healing's going on. And the vibrational shift begins to happen from a planetary perspective. From a cosmic perspective. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. And as we bring that energy back into that space right above our eyes and our forehead, our crown chakra, if you will, we choose gratitude for this healing as it unfolds. Being oh so grateful and remembering on every step of the pathway of the journey of finding our personal self-empowerment through to a spiritual awakening, we stay awake. Seed, plant, flower. As we say together, and so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
So it is.
And so it is.